You're dieting and exercising, but your weight loss has stalled and you're frustrated. One of these four things could be the reason that you're stuck, so let's fix it. What's up? I'm Melanie Ash of MelanieAshFitness.com and Fitness Evolution Personal Training Studio here in Columbus, Ohio. I am a personal trainer, a fitness nutrition specialist, a weight management specialist, and a women's wellness enthusiast. Today I want to share with you 4 reasons why you might not be getting the weight loss results that you're after, and I'm going to tell you how to fix it. So as I'm going through these 4 things today, I want you to really think about whether or not these sound like you, and which one is the one that could be causing you to not get results, and that's going to help you determine how to fix it. So as you're watching and as I'm going through these, I encourage you to let me know in the comments what you are struggling with, what maybe you're doing that you feel like isn't working, or what your biggest issue is with staying on track, and then I'll hopefully offer you some helpful guidance. I think one of the most common complaints that I hear from women is that nothing works. Or they say, I'm dieting, I'm working out, the scale won't budge, I don't understand, I'm eating the right things, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and they're not getting the results that they expect to get. Well, just working out and just dieting isn't a guarantee that you will get results, and this can actually be a lot more complicated than it seems. So let's talk about 4 things that could have your weight loss stalled. The first one is focusing too much on what everybody else is doing. And this can be everything from it worked for her, so it should work for me, to the comparison game where you're on social media and you're looking at other women and you're looking at what they're doing and you're feeling down about yourself because you don't look like them. One of the most important things for your diet and exercise success is to focus on yourself, on your journey, and on what works best for you. Not every diet or exercise program is going to be successful for every person. Not everyone has the same schedule. Not everyone has the same metabolism. Not everyone has the same needs, likes, and so on. The one that works for you, the program that works for you, is the program you can stick to and that works with your body. So looking at what someone else is doing is going to keep you stuck every time. I get asked all the time what I eat, what my workout routine looks like, and I'm happy to share that information to help you determine what's going to work well for you. But by no means should you be attempting to copy exactly what I am doing and thinking that that is going to make you look exactly like me or get you the exact results that you want. First of all, the program itself has to be tailored to the results that you want. Secondly, you're not me. You have a different body. You have a different body history. You have a different metabolism. We may not be the same age. We may not be the same body type. So just replicating what I do isn't necessarily going to get you where you want to be. And it'll leave you stuck because you'll be frustrated feeling like, well, I'm doing what she's doing, why don't I look like her? And that story that we tell ourselves is never going to move us forward. So I want you to look inward. I want you to work on thinking about what foods make you feel best, knowing how much to eat for your body and your goals, being active in a way that allows you to feel good, doing things you enjoy. You've got to stop focusing on what everyone else is doing, focusing on you and what works for you. Otherwise, you are absolutely going to stay stuck with those weight loss results. Number 2, and this one's a little similar. Do you have shiny object syndrome when it comes to diet and exercise? Are you always trying out the latest workout program or the latest diet fad? So much so that you're changing things up all the time and not giving anything enough time to actually work? You know how this is, right? One day you're doing low carb, and then you hear that high protein diets are great, so you start eating high protein, and then you're hearing that maybe being vegan is the way to go, and so you're vegan for a few weeks. Oh, no, it's ketogenics. You got to eat keto, so then you start eating keto. If you're changing it all the time, A, you're not giving your body a chance to adapt to whatever you're doing, and B, you're not giving yourself a chance to see if this is something that actually works for you, which goes back to number one. It's got to work for your body, right? So if you have shiny object syndrome and one day you're loving this kind of workout and the next day you're loving this kind of workout, by all means, I encourage you to do things you enjoy and to keep some variety. But consistency is how we get results. And we can't have results from a program or know if a program is working until we've done it consistently for a period of time that's usually at least 8 weeks, preferably longer, to make sure that we see whether or not our body is adapting. So if you have shiny object syndrome and you're kind of like, squirrel at every new diet or exercise program, you're going to stay stuck because you're not giving it time to work. So I encourage you to find something you enjoy, stick with it for at least 8 weeks, preferably 12, see how you feel, see what the results are like, and then perhaps only then look to do something slightly different, not completely and totally different. If you're throwing out everything and redoing it all the time, you're never going to have a chance to find that consistency and get some results. And that's what we want, right? We want results. Number 3, and this one might be a surprise to some of you. The reason why maybe your weight loss has stalled is because you're going too hard. You're dieting, you're eating super low calorie, you're eating super low carb, you are on track with your healthy eating, you are in the gym every day, you are lifting weights, you're doing cardio, you're running, you're doing everything. Why isn't the scale moving? Because your body is getting beaten down and it's not having a chance to rest, recover, and rebuild, which is how we make change and how our body starts to look different. So the change happens when your body is recovering. If you want to build new muscle, if you want to lose fat, that has to happen while you're sleeping, and your body has to be fueled enough and conditioned enough that it can do those things and not feel like it's barely even able to survive. And I often see women who are super driven and very committed, but they're doing too much. They're in the gym for at least an hour a day, every day. At the same time, they're dieting and eating really low calorie, really low carb sometimes. And to be frank with you, a lot of times they don't really feel very good. They get injured, they get sick a lot, they're tired. And the body just isn't able to adapt. I mean, your body's just trying basically to keep you alive. It's not going to be able to produce weight loss. To be honest, what's best is finding that sweet spot. So you're in a calorie deficit, but not too extreme. You're eating just enough carbs, but not too many, not too little. And you're working out 3 to 5 days a week, maybe 6. It's going to depend on your body, your goals, your needs. And you're varying the intensity of those workouts. So maybe 3 to 4 days you're lifting weights, 1 to 2 days you're doing some metabolic conditioning, maybe a day of yoga. I always recommend finding that balance. You can't beat the crap out of yourself in the gym every single day and expect to be able to feel great and keep going at that pace. If you're doing too much, if you're pushing the needle too hard, your results will absolutely stall because your body has to make a choice between keeping you alive and producing results, and it's going to keep you alive. So be mindful of not trying to beat yourself into the ground. There is definitely a way of overdoing exercise, and you can absolutely be eating too little calories. You've got to find the sweet spot. That's number 3. The last of these, number 4, reasons why your weight loss may be stalled is the exact opposite of that. You're not doing enough. So now I want you to be honest. If what I just talked about, going too hard, getting in the gym every day, kicking the crap out of yourself, eating low calorie, if you know that's not you, you know that's not you. Maybe you're not doing enough. Maybe you could be walking more. Maybe you're eating out too often. Maybe you know that you're nibbling and picking at home at little things in between meals and you're not tracking exactly what you're eating. Maybe you're not being honest with yourself about your portion sizes or how many glasses of wine you had over the weekend. Maybe you're getting into the gym once or twice a week, but you're not really giving it your all and you're not really pushing yourself. Well, don't expect to get results from the work that you don't do. This is one where even as a trainer, sometimes I have to get a little tough with my clients and say, listen, you could be doing more. Your results aren't happening. You just had your check-in and we did your measurements and in 4 weeks, really nothing's changed, and that's because you're not doing enough. I don't want you in the gym every day beating the crap out of yourself like we talked about in number 3, but I do want you moving every day, taking walks, getting into the gym 3 to 4 days a week, and when you're there, making that workout count, making it challenging, pushing yourself a little bit. You've got to be honest with yourself about how much you're eating. Stop eating out so many days a week. Let's get those portions under control. Let's drink water. Let's stop having the liquid calories and running to Starbucks and getting that big coffee drink that's basically a milkshake. Side note, when did we start putting whipped cream on every coffee drink? Ridiculous, people. So be honest with yourself. Maybe you're not doing enough in order to get the results that you expect. So there's many reasons why the scale can stop moving and we can become frustrated and feel like we're not making progress. And sometimes it's a matter of just tweaking a few things here and there. But these 4 things, too focused on what everyone else is doing and not paying attention to what works best for you, having shiny object syndrome where you're constantly changing up your eating and you're doing this program and you're doing this program and never giving it time to work, going way too hard and not allowing your body enough rest, or slacking off and not pushing yourself enough are 4 reasons that your weight loss and progress could be stalled, and those are the ways that I want you to work on fixing it. Focus on yourself, not anyone else. You can use, advice or things that I'm doing or other people you follow are doing to help you shape a program and determine what works best for you, but you've got to find it and you've got to stick to it and be consistent. You've got to push yourself, make sure you're doing enough, but not overdoing it and trying to beat yourself into the ground and making yourself miserable to lose weight. So I hope you find that helpful. I'd love for you guys to let me know, those of you who are watching, what's your biggest struggle? What's something that's holding you back right now that you want some help with? Maybe you have trouble with snacking at night, or maybe you're just lacking motivation to get in the gym. What is that thing that you need to push past to get you where you want to be? And here we are, middle of August. The kids are about to go back to school. Fall is coming, which is kind of exciting because it's a chance for not just the little ones, but also ourselves to get back into a routine, start recreating those good habits that summer sometimes throws off. So now is a really great time to start thinking about what you want to do, how you can put some good habits and programs in place to take you into the fall and start getting you into that good, consistent routine. Becky says, when you carb up, are those the best days to lift weights, and what to do on carb down days? So Becky, I assume you're asking this as part of a nutrition program that perhaps you're following that does carb cycling. For those not familiar, carb cycling involves alternating days where you eat higher carb intake and then maybe a lower carb intake on alternate days. So first of all, I don't think that most people need to carb cycle. I think that that's something if you are more advanced or you're looking for more specific results, maybe you're doing a competition or an event, carb cycling can be utilized in that way pretty successfully. I would encourage many people to look at carb cycling as kind of a natural process. You know the days when you're more active, maybe you were, out at the zoo with your family and you walked to 20,000 steps, you're going to want and need a few more carbs. That kind of happens naturally. If you sat on the couch all day and didn't really do much, eating a little bit lower carb just because your body doesn't need them. So that can happen on its own. But to Becky's question, she's saying when you carb up, are those the best days to lift weights? Yes. So especially when we lift heavy, if we're lifting heavy, now this doesn't, if you guys are in there with your little 5-pound weights and it's not super challenging, it doesn't have quite the same effect. But if we're lifting heavy and we're being challenged and really using our muscle, then we need carbohydrate. And we can only store so much carbohydrate within our cells, and we store more in our muscles. So the more that we have readily available, the more that we can use when we're lifting weights to get that benefit of added strength and energy. And likewise, when we are done lifting weights, in order to repair and replenish our muscles, we need carbohydrate, and it's taken right into the muscle at that point when your muscle tissue is broken down for that repair process. So around workouts, both during a day and during the week, is the best place to put your carbs. So no matter what you're doing, having higher carbs pre and post workout is beneficial. Doing a heavier, harder lift day on a day where you intake more carbs is beneficial. On a carb down day, if you're eating lower carbs, walking would be fantastic. I always recommend still moving, but that's the day to do your yoga. That's the day to do maybe some lightweight conditioning with lighter weights. That would be the day to go out and go for a walk. You don't want to do anything super strenuous on a low-carb day. You're probably not going to have as much energy. You're not going to feel as good, and you're going to need those carbohydrates if you're doing any kind of heavy, hard HIIT training, metabolic conditioning, even jogging or running, and lifting weights. So with running, you need carbohydrates before the run to help give you that fuel and that sustained energy, especially if you're a distance runner. You don't need the carbohydrates so much after running because there's not a lot of uptake into the muscle at that point, since it hasn't done a lot of breaking down of muscle tissue. You still need carbohydrate, but you can get away with a lot more after a heavy strength training session than you can after a run. Great question, Becky. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if that answered your question. Anybody else want to know anything? Pop in, ask a question. I'm here for you right now to offer you advice or guidance, maybe some tips, anything you're looking for. And while I'm waiting for that, I just do want to let you know, I mentioned it is almost back to school time. And once the kids go back, it's time for us to get back on track too. Just like you get your kids back into a routine and they've got to start going to school, going to bed at the right time, packing healthy lunches, we need to do the same. So I'm really excited that coming up here at the end of the month, starting September 1st, I'm launching a new free 30-day challenge. For those of you who've done my 30-day challenges like my abs challenge before, this is new. It's a Fall Back to Fitness challenge running for the entire month of September. It is free, and it's going to be an accountability challenge so we can all get back into our good, healthy habits this fall, get in a routine, and start getting that progress and those results we're after. Stay tuned for news on that. The sign-up has not opened just yet, but I will be putting that out here in about a week or so. So you can sign up, get some accountability. We're all going to do this together. It's going to be fun too. So if you're not already in my 30-day ab challenge group, get in that group. I'll post the link here to sign up for that challenge also. And then you can be sure to find out as soon as this new free 30-day Fall Back to Fitness challenge launches in just a few short days. Thank you guys so much for being there. Remember, little by little, a little adds up to a lot. So what is one small thing you can do today to help set yourself up for success tomorrow? Think on that. Thanks, you guys. Have a great week.